government over what he terms a lack of support for farmers up north battling drought.
What I think government should have been doing by now is to have told us what packages they have for the farmers. I'm even told some people are attempting suicide.
Also coming up in the bulletin, founder and leader of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, has urged the Electoral Commission to investigate the criminal background of presidential candidates ahead of the 2024 elections.
I think that the EC or the government of Ghana should get criminal records of every candidate.
The National Democratic Congress promises renal fund to alleviate dialysis costs if elected in December. We've got details of all of these stories and more making the bulletin this afternoon. Do stay tuned.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Thank you once again for joining us here on the Star Midday News. The bulletin is streaming live on our Facebook page at Star 1035 FM. Check our Instagram and X pages as well and connect with us. My name is Lantam Papanko. Farmers along the Kubori River in the Binduru district of the Upper East region have begun prematurely harvesting their crops as water from the Bagre Dam has started flooding their farms. The annual spillage of these dams ahead of often leads to farmers in many parts of the Upper East and Northeast regions losing their crops to flooding. Although the National Disaster Management Organization has been consistently sharing information with farmers in communities along these routes and others, many farmers have been unable to harvest their crops as they are not yet ready. However, Star News understands that following the spillage of the dams a few days ago, farmers are now being forced to harvest prematurely due to the overflow of the Kubori River into their farms. Ayaba Abdul Aziz is a reporter with Max Empire FM. He visited some of the affected farms and he's joining us now on the phone line for more on the developing story. Welcome to the bulletin. What more can you report about how the spillage of these dams are forcing farmers to prematurely harvest their crops, among other things?
Yeah, so what happened is that farmers along the White Water at the Bokuwas district and then some part of the Binduri district here in the Upper East region are actually harvesting their crops prematurely. We visited farmers along the White Water, especially around the Kobore, Kapelega lane here in the Bokuwas district. And then the farmers are saying that they have to harvest their crops prematurely because of the heavy spillage of the Bagre Dam. And what they also said was is that this year, since the rain actually delayed in falling, so it has also delayed in their harvest and crops. Due to that, they couldn't get their yearly yield early, just like how they used to. And talking about the spillage of the dam, they said it has really, really affected them. But they are calling on the authority to have a better solution to the water, because since every year this is what they face as farmers. And then along the banks of the White Water is the only place that they farm. And so due to that, they are calling on authority, a government body, to have a way of resolving this issue for them. But when you come at the Sapelega, the Kobori area, and some part of the Binduri, it has really, really affected farmers, those who farm okra, those who farm maize, and other vegetables along the bank.
Now, how do these farmers who farm in these areas take warnings that there is going to be a dam spillage. Obviously, this is something which always happens. And anytime it happens, there is this kind of devastation. So when they are warned that this is about to happen, how do they take it?
Yeah, so what happened is that, even especially yesterday, I asked them why they were harvesting some of the maize premature. And they say, yeah, that they pick more intelligence and then information from the media that the water level will still increase more than what they know before. So they are always monitoring the information from the media about the opening of the Bagre Dam. So when it happens like that, they start to harvest their crops and move away from the banks of the river. So that is what is actually happening. But their worry is that it has always been happening every year. So they can also stop farming along the banks of the White Volta. But they want a solution to the Bagre split.
Very well, Ayaba, thank you for speaking to us and bringing us that update. Ayaba Abdulaziz is a reporter with Max Empire FM. He visited some of the affected farms and joined us with updates on this developing story. Meanwhile, former research scientist with the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, Professor Roger Canton, has criticized the government over what he terms lack of support for farmers up north battling drought. He spoke earlier on the Morning Star.
Very serious. In fact, it's a hopeless case in some of the areas. And I think the government should really, to me, what I think government should have been doing by now is to have told us what packages they have for the farmers, because it's a dire situation.
It's a dire situation.
I am even told some people are attempting suicide, which is normal because when you invest, millions of Ghana cedis, these days things are hard. People say, so you can imagine if people are struggling and all that you have, you've invested, you've gone for a loan. And Ghana, our interest rates are the highest in the sub-region.
Yeah.
You go for a loan for 27% profit, interest rate. How are you going to come out of this? And another funny thing which we have in this country is no one grants insurance to farmers. They always say that agriculture is expensive, it's risky. But nobody will tell you that eating food is risky or expensive. You see the conundrum. Nobody says that.
Professor Roger Canton is a Greek economist. Now, founder and leader of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, is urging the Electoral Commission to thoroughly investigate the background of all presidential candidates. According to the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, a person is eligible for the presidency if he or she is a citizen of Ghana, has attained the age of 40 years, and has a sound mind. But Dr. Hassan Ayariga thinks it is equally important for the background of the presidential candidate to be investigated. He believes that this will prevent criminally minded persons from contesting in presidential polls. He spoke on Starr News.
I think that on a more serious note, we are joking with this office of president. And that is why you see so far 11 independent presidential candidates have picked form to contest for the seat, including the 10 political parties that are coming. That is going to make the ballot paper, if all of them should qualify, 21. I mean, it is in this country that there's no record beside the constitutional requirement of becoming a president, vying for president, that one have to be 40 and of sane mind and not sick. But there should be some elements added to it, like criminal elements, some records of other things, so that it will make the presidency a stage, a position where not everybody is qualified just per the age limit and the mindset. I know of some presidential candidates that cannot travel to certain countries in this country, and they're running for president.
And you have evidence to back that.
Of course, there are some president candidates that cannot go to the US, cannot travel to UK and other places, and they're running for president. So it is more of more money than brains. And I think that the EC or the government of Ghana should get criminal records of every candidate. This is my opinion. That we should check the records of every candidate who is going to contest.
Well, Mr. Ayariga also admonished political parties, particularly the NDC and the MPP, to commit to peace by signing any document which safeguards national cohesion.
You know, from 2012 general election until today, Hassan Ayariga has always been the first person to advocate peace in this country and also advocate treaties and all agreement made or even at most cases I even request that there should be a peace agreement between all political parties, and most importantly, the NDs and the MPP. Now, let us not forget, it is only when there's peace that we can go in for elections, and nobody can rule a burning nation. So I will advise the NDs that this is not a do or die kind of elections. We've contested all these elections since from 1992, and to show their level of tolerance and their level of maturity and their level of being one of the parties that have ruled this country, they should sign any form of peace accord, whether directly or indirectly, whether from any party or any institution. It is for them to demonstrate to the world this election is going to be peaceful. This election will be free and fair from the president is not above the law of the Republic of Ghana. Nobody is above the law. So when the people make their decision, you cannot subvert the will of the people.
That's Hassan Ayariga there, who is the founding leader of the All People's Congress, and Nana Ama Akwa is in the studio with some social media commentary surrounding these issues. You've been commenting on our social media pages. What have people been saying, Nanama?
Well, Hassan Ayariga came to drop what we may call some bombs yesterday, one of which I think was our first story concerning him regarding presidential aspirants having a checkered past, should I put it like that? Well, we're going to go from Facebook today. Adil says, Airbus Mahama. Then Kennedy Frimpong is asking, who is that person? We also have Kofi who says Nam1 Junior. Then we have another Kofi who says, I thought you said you had PhD in whatever. Have you ever worked in an organization or a company, is asking. Can an assistant or deputy or vice do anything on his own without his boss's permission or approval? Hey, doc, it's never done anywhere. As a vice, you do whatever your boss asks you to do or you get sacked. Please don't say anything or do anything that will let people talk about you as if you don't know because of politics. The vice cannot do what his boss has not asked him to. So in case you become president, your vice can do anything, then we're in trouble. Alvin adds, you only hear of him during elections. And we have Japheth. Are they going to govern the US or Ghana? So this is what you had to say on social media. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X, and then we will read them out to you. Lantam, back over to you.
Thank you very much. Nana Ama Akwa there with your interesting comments on social media. Let's remain on this peace pact issue because some analysts have questioned the seeming obsession over a document that has no legal basis. And security analyst Dr. Adam Buna is joining us on the line for further discussions on this particular subject matter. Dr. Adam Buna, good afternoon. Welcome to the Starr Midday News. How effective would you say peace pacts have been in maintaining, the peace that we enjoyed during past elections, given that they are not legally binding, and also given recent concerns that the NDC have been raising as to the reason why they don't want to sign a peace pact?
Well, yes, good afternoon, Lantam. What I can say is it's difficult to measure the impact of, peace pacts or these peace agreements that are usually bundled around for politicians to sign when elections we are having, general elections. I haven't seen any research paper that speaks to the fact that had it not been for the peace pact that was signed, maybe a certain violence would have ensued. I haven't seen anything like that. All that we have seen is over the period after the signing of the peace pact, we see, sometimes violence. Then some of these violence, in fact, have led to people getting maimed permanently, people getting killed after the signing of peace pacts. And what we do is after signing the peace pact, we go to sleep. So mine is that from where I sit, from a researcher point of view, I will tell you that I'm not sure. I won't place any significance on a peace pact being signed by politicians, because then over the years, the peace pacts that were signed before Talensi, before Ayawaso West Wogon, before Techiman, before Odododio, what happened? Did we ever have any investigations? Did we ever prosecute people for some of these things, atrocities? I am not aware of that. And so as far as I'm concerned, it is just for the optics. It's just to make it look believe that we are doing something. But in real sense, I will tell you that I won't place any importance on a peace pact apart from the optics. Nothing. If you ask me, I'll tell you nothing. I'll tell you nothing because the Peace Council don't have any power to cause the police service or cause someone to be arrested. They have no power. They are just an advisory body. So what are they going to do beyond this? I mean, after 2020, when the Peace Pact was signed before 2020 elections, people died. Have we seen any report on why these people died? Have the families been compensated? Ayawasu West Wagon, happened after 2016. 2016, a Peace Pact was signed. And eventually, we had a by-election in Ayawasu West Wagon, very close to my office. People were shot, people were beaten, people were brutalized. Have we seen, even after the Commission's report, the white paper accepted some of it? Those that were accepted included compensation to the victims. Have they been compensated? So mine is that for some of us who occupy this space, we need to be very measured when we are talking about Peace Pact and its impact. Because then one day any of us will become victims, and then you'll be watching them talking about Peace Pact, and you ask yourself, what is the essence of this? So for me, Lantam, I will tell you that I won't put any premium on a Peace Pact, even though I will say for the optics, well, if they want to do it, they should do it. But I won't place a value on it. I must be honest with you.
Well, in your view, should there be any legal provisions made to make signing of a peace pact perhaps enforceable, backed by some sort of law to make it more binding, anything of the sort?
No, you can't even enact a law to do that. I mean, which sections of our Constitution would say that you are going to enact a law that says that people should sign that they will not fight again? I mean, no, I don't think that would be done. That can be done legally. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen it anywhere where a law has been enacted for feuding parties or people who are disagreeing to sign, an agreement that they won't disagree again. Maybe what we can do beyond this is just to ensure that we give some authority to the Peace Council, authority that will demand that they would have to ensure that issues of conflict, issues that would bring about divisions in the country, they are able to fall on the relevant authorities. And when the relevant authorities refuse to act, then they can sanction the relevant authorities. For instance, we have the RTI. And so if I was to, go to, let's say, the National Media Commission, or I went to the NCA that regulates you, and I want to know whether, Starr FM has a license to go on air, they are mandated by law to give it to me. If they do not give it to me, the Act has there in a provision that they are supposed to, the RTI or, the NCA would be sanctioned by the RTI authority. And so we can put in something so that, for instance, the Peace Council can write to the police and demand that we need ABCD investigated. And if the police refuses, they can sanction the police. They can actually demand that the police should investigate the military for atrocities committed in Garu, Timpani, Boku area or
Right.
Shaman. And if the police refuse, they should sanction them.
Right.
And once they have that authority, then I would say they would have a bit of a biting force. But at the moment, they have nothing. It's just like they work like a CSO. They have no power, nothing at all.
Okay.
Nothing, no power. They have no legal basis to do what they are doing. But mine is that it's an advisory body, and therefore we can help them to structure it well so that it can help all of us moving forward.
All right. Dr. Adam Bona, always grateful that you've spoken to us here on the Starr Midday News. Dr. Adam Bona is a security analyst speaking to us. The Peace Council, however, has said during a public forum on media, peace, and democratic consolidation organized by the Media Foundation for West Africa in collaboration with the Peace Council that they will ensure that there is peace during this election. Joanna Opare, who is a board member of the Peace Council, said the Peace Council will continue to mediate between political parties to find a lasting solution to concerns of election violence.
Available data indicates a growing media over the last 2 decades in Ghana. While the growth is significant for media diversity and amplifying citizen voices for public accountability, a substantial number of these media houses are owned by politicians who use them for political propaganda to further their partisan interests. To help contribute to addressing the above context and advance peaceful elections and democratic consolidation in Ghana, the Media Foundation for West Africa, with supports from the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, is implementing a project titled Enhancing the Media's Role in Conflict Resolution, Peace Building, and Democratic Consolidation in Ghana. Suleiman Abrahima is the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa.
Our politicians are spewing out, in some instances, vile rhetoric, pro-violent rhetorics, hate speech sometimes, propaganda sometimes, misinformation sometimes, disinformation sometimes, and all of that. We didn't allow ourselves to be conveyor belts, basically conveying whatever politicians are saying to the people, and we shouldn't also be allowed to be used as megaphones, basically blaring out whatever is being said by politicians, whether good or bad.
Engaging journalists on the issue of the refusal of the NDC to sign the Peace Pact, member of the Peace Council, Joanna Opare, emphasized the need for a new strategy to bring the NDC on board and a continuous engagement with the political class to ensure a peaceful election.
This is a new thing, I should say, that has come up from the NDC, and we have just begun putting in place strategies that we can use in mediation and talking to them to see where we will get to. We will use what, in line with our mandates, we can use whatever strategies we can put in place to ensure that there's a common understanding and we have everybody's concerns addressed.
Now, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, has announced plans to establish a renal development fund if it wins the upcoming 2024 general elections. This initiative, according to Kwabena Minta Kando, the ranking member on the Health Committee in Parliament, aims to provide financial relief to renal patients who are struggling with the high cost of dialysis treatment. Speaking to Starr News, the Dwaboso MP emphasized the urgent need for this intervention, citing the escalating costs associated with renal care.
John Dramani Mahama has reiterated that he's not going to risk, and that he has even indicated that there's going to be a renal and cancer fund. And so we will have a special money for that particular fund to run issues of dialysis and then cancer in this country. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is so particular about this, issue. So you are going to see the scrapping of taxes, the waiver of taxes on these consumables. I am very, very sure and clear in my mind it's going to happen.
Meanwhile, the procurement expert, Dr. John Boer, has attributed the recurring challenges in clearing medical supplies in the country to a lack of collaboration amongst state agencies.
When you come to our environment here, the issue of collaboration is a serious problem. We want to work on our own. Nobody wants to be under somebody, or I don't want to take instructions from somewhere else. But when in logistics, in supply chain, in procurement activity, you operate in that kind of silo environment, you will always have a problem like it happened over there. What I see is that over here, most often we fail to share information. I have my business, you have your business. I don't know whether I am quite skeptical or maybe afraid of you. Certain things that we need to share so that that flow will be there in the supply chain. We always have that problem where I try to hide something from you so that you don't know exactly what you are supposed to do. And so when it is your turn to do it, because you did not have enough information, then that can be that problem where I try to hide something from you so that you don't know exactly what you are supposed to do. And so when it is your turn to do it, because you did not have enough information, then that can be that problem that Kolebu faced.
It's time now for us to bring you sports. Jones Aji is in the studio with the details in sports. Jones, what's in sports?
Let's start off on a lighter note and talk about Cristiano Ronaldo because he has broken the YouTube record for the most subscribers in a day, surpassing Mr. Beast, who previously gained 2.24 million subscribers in a single day. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo's YouTube channel currently stands at 19.2 million. All right, now let's move to the Black Stars of Ghana, where the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Doji Numekevo, says the Barra Sports Stadium is ready to host the Black Stars AFCON qualifiers against Angola on September 5th. The director, who was speaking on GH1's The Game Show, says that it is normal to spray the playing field before a game is played. His comments come after training images of the current status of the Barra Sports Stadium ahead of the Angola match.
Oh, but it's normal. Okay, those are normal things. That's why I said to you earlier, and please note this. Even on the day of the match, when the teams go on recess, you turn on the sprinklers and then you spray. Because at every point in time, the grass would have to be very, very soggy. They have to be very, very green to have a beautiful game. So what's wrong with spraying the football pitch days before the match? It's normal. Even in advanced countries, it's done.
All right, Enzo Maresca says Raheem Sterling is training away from Chelsea's first team and it's not in his plans ahead as the head coach prefers a different kind of winger. Maresca informed the 29-year-old last Friday that he is not in his plans this season and was left out of the squad that lost to City last Sunday. Now, Sterling's number 7 shirt has been given to summer signing Pedro Neto, who wore the number 19 shirt on his debut against Manchester City. Ahead of Chelsea's Conference League playoff first leg at home to Severed FC, Maresca says Raheem is a good player, but he prefers a different kind of winger.
I just try to be honest. I said, and I can repeat again in case it's not clear. I spoke with Raheem before City game. I said that he's going to struggle to get minutes with us, and this is the reason why he was out of the squad. And with Chile, I said that it's a lovely guy, but he's going to struggle because his position with us is going to struggle. It's not because he's, I'm not saying that Raheem is no good player, but I prefer different kind of wingers, and this is the reason why. I think that from outside, I'm working in this moment with 21 players. Today's session is with 20 players. Yesterday's session was with 21. So it's, the other 15 or 20, they're training apart. And in the USA, we are 26 or 27 players. So it's not if they are Chelsea player, 42, 43, yes, for sure. But they are not working with me every day. I don't.
All right, so that Chelsea game is at 7 p.m. And on that note, that's all for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones Aji, with the latest in sports. And have you subscribed to Cristiano Ronaldo's YouTube channel yet?
Of course. He's a good. I want to be part of history. I want to be part of the history maker. So
right.
I've subscribed.
I've also subscribed myself, and I personally also think that he is the greatest of all time.
Thank you very much.
Taking nothing away from Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Taking nothing away from Lionel Messi.
Messi's the deputy goat.
Well. Well, electorates in Ablekuma North constituency in the Greater Accra region are divided with mixed opinions, swirling over the choice of a parliamentary and presidential candidate to vote for in the upcoming elections. While some constituents remain steadfast in their support, others voiced deep-seated frustrations, with some even threatening to boycott the upcoming elections altogether. Sewami here was in the constituency and spoke to some of the constituents.
Obia ba promise oye. Obia ba promise a obeyesi. Just omunyuma no na da omumwaye isu to a na eyiri environment ni nyina gates ni nyina echoku. At the same time bo se na eko amanfo fie. Itama ye ho kire road ni nyina gates ni nyina echoku. Omuba omuso mbeye nso no matran so no moko. We ba no cause the same problem ka kamenko nka sa MPP ne ndisi mpoko munyina mfiri so na kiyan fa new person mra a obetimi aba ba hwe kwashima constitution you know because the way omuka omoye no kiyan new person a obetimi aba be gina ama both party no omahu difference na ewo mu no because obi aba na da
na nyama bi kwaso na ya first na meto aba makufo Na sisi mbetena be say 24 years ni. Nsuo ta efanye. MPP abetena so a bibia ni wo maaye. Nti ma sesa ma adwen se meto ama NDC. Sisi a meter bi omudi ababo. Ya de meter bobo enya 1 month. Ya top light 400. Month nso ye. Nti meto ama NDC.
Na unwo GDS NDC ba
omayade. Ku dwama ma kono. Na petrol yeah 14 cities 50%. Sisi ya sen. Who be drivers almost 75. Who be 80. Nti meto ama NDC.
This is a kwan na ehia ye. E kwan na one way wo free so to mu besia akwa traffic wo mu saa anka ye besere so mu nyi akwan no e mai wo wura ha obetimi apie ha na kyeresa aye ntem amai if you say we dey ekonanim enti se wa anyere ho amobra no anye obi na bebo ama nti yesre na so onyi akwan no mai na o mai ma no so nya adwuma nye so mu nya adwuma ya wo yo batan na wo fi aja wo ba kwa wonya kakra de abro na so wonya bi.
Now, two suspected thieves, Razak and Ajeku, both in their 20s and natives of Dentra Chichere, have been shot dead by the assembly member, Kwabena Boateng, for allegedly attempting to steal bags of cocoa beans from his shed. According to reports gathered by Starr News' Yabwejan, the incident occurred yesterday, and the suspects, known to be habitual thieves in the community, had previously stolen from the assembly member and other residents, leading to multiple complaints being lodged with the police. The deceased had reportedly been on the police wanted list. When the assembly member detected the attempt to steal from his cocoa shed, he fired at them, resulting in their instant death. The instant death of Ajekum, while Razak died later on the outskirts of the Dunkwa-Chichere Road. Families of the victims have been informed, and their bodies have been deposited at the Dunkwa-Onofin Government Hospital morgue for autopsy and preservation. The police are currently investigating the matter, and we'll bring you more on this developing story later.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 1035 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Well, that's it for the Starr Midday News here on Star 103.5 FM. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. Take a look at our social media pages at Star 103.5 FM on Facebook, on X, and on Instagram. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a good day.